pretty
Hey,
impressive on that.
speaking of which, have you heard about the three fingers test? And so, like, now
I've
it
got a
doesn't
story
work.
about that. You go first, then I've got a great story about it.
So the three finger test is, for those of you who don't know, there is a current, I don't know if you call it like a widespread, I don't know if you call it a cyber attack at all, but there is
They're
a,
just trying to make a few bucks.
maybe, there is an advanced persistent threat out there that they're trying from a very particular country that are trying to get themselves hired in remote positions in the United States of America and probably abroad too.
Are
But
we not saying the country?
oh, I don't, North Korea, is that okay?
North Korea. It's definitely
Okay.
North Korea. Yeah.
I
100%
don't know.
North Korea.
I don't. I haven't looked at the attribution enough to know that to have looked at data enough for me to make an assumption about that. But I'm pretty sure it's North Korea, right? I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
everybody has come to that
Yeah.
conclusion for attribution. Anyway, so they'll call. They'll use AI deepfake. They'll use everything else to pretend to be someone they're not, to pretend to have credentials in the United States, to be able to pretend to be able to work in the United States, get a job, and make money. But also, a lot of these jobs are programming jobs, so they are getting into data sets, databases, kind of all over the world, right? And so during an interview, during a Zoom interview or a Teams interview or whatever kind of interview you're running, the test has been that if you hold up three finger, you ask the candidate to hold up three fingers, and if the candidate can't do it, then that usually is pretty indicative that it's AI because AI will screw that up. AI will like probably if they hold up three, it'll hold up the entire hand. That would
Or
be my
maybe,
guess.
who knows? Maybe we'll get a chicken claw. I don't know.
We don't know what's going to happen with AI. Maybe it'll fire itself. And so that has been a test for a while. And I just read an article today that said that that test really is no longer valid because AI is kind of learned and now it can do like a three finger test or a one finger test or whatever it is.
Did you read what they're doing now in order to
No,
find out if they're North Korean spies? Well, so
no.
one that also has worked, but I think it's also not working as well, is they'd have them wave their hand in front of their face like
Yes.
this, like John Cena. He's like, "You don't see
Yeah.
me."
Can't
And then
see
all of a
me. Yep.
sudden you would see North Koreans. But also, North Korea, it is illegal to insult dear leader Kim Jong Un.
Ooh.
So they're saying in order to in these interviews, the HR professionals are saying, "Oh, you seem like a great fit. Before we go any further, can you just please say that Kim Jong Un is a dog, and that's an insult. That's illegal." And there's more than one video out there where all of a sudden the interviewer goes, "I'm sorry, what? No, tell me more. Oh, I can't hear you too well." And after a while, they're just like, "I gotta go." So
I
all you have
gotta
to
be
do.
honest with you. I don't know if I'd say that. That sounds really harsh.
I didn't pick it.
I don't
I
know if
would
I
I
want
would I
anybody
would
to
pick something
die.
like Kim Jong Un is a silly, silly clown. That's
There
what
you
I
go. That's
who
better. I could say
who's
that.
poor at comedic effect and has no makeup game. Now that said, I don't know, maybe Kim Jong Un is an effective clown. I am unfamiliar with his hobbies, but I'm pretty sure that's an insult that they couldn't say.
This is how Frank and I get hacked by the North Korean government. We just
This
started.
this is it. It's now. Now's the time. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Oh lord. Okay. Yeah. No. I think that's good. So there probably are other things. Like there's lots of other things you can do that you can basically trick AI. There's other questions you
Yeah,
can.
sure, but why not call dear leader silly clown? I'm
Yeah.
just saying, pick your favorite flavor. And there are like the hand test still works to my understanding, and there's ways to figure it out. Also, when all of a sudden you maybe see the checks getting cashed in, North Korea, that might be part of it. Actually, do you know what's interesting about that? They put actual adverts out on Craigslist for people to host the laptops at their house. And they're like, make a quick buck. Put all these laptops in your house. Just let them sit there so they act as the pivot point into the US for these actual impersonators to impersonate.
Yeah, so there's a pretty common practice for scammers out there where they have proxies. So basically, they'll pay somebody in the United States. They'll say, "Hey, do you want to make some money? All you have to do is make sure that you like I'll get some money transferred to you from somebody else. Then you just need to Venmo me like half that money, and you can keep the other half." And that's how like these the scammers where IRS scams or USPS scams or whatever other scams are kind of out there right now. The what's the driving the DMV one? The DMV one is a big one too. So what they'll do is they'll pay someone who's a United States citizen who lives in the United States who has a United States Venmo account with a US number. It's verified through Venmo. They'll say pay through this Venmo account, and then that United States person will get it, and then they'll send half the money over. That person has no idea what they're getting the money for, They're just a proxy for the money. And so that's a lot of the ways that these scammers work. So I imagine it's all kind of the same thing, and they probably do have proxies even here where it's like, hey, you'll get a paycheck once a month, just pay me, 75% of it, or and then you can take the other 25% of it.
Time to be alive.
It is. It's
What a
yeah.
time. What a
Global
time.
markets, amazing. Anyway, so keep an eye out for scams. If anybody ever asks you to Venmo you money, don't do it.
Especially from surveillance states. And